Hello and welcome back to Uncle Jam's Cooking School, keeping cooking simple. So today we're going to be making my hassle-free rice. Now, I have always cooked rice differently to all of my friends, but whenever I've taught them this method, they've never gone back. But first, here's what we're going to need. Okay, so we're going to need some good quality rice. I'm using basmati, some oil, I'm using olive oil, a saucepan with a lid, a pinch of salt, and of course, a mug. Okay, so to start off, get your saucepan heating on a high heat. And then you're going to add in some oil. Now, I'm using olive oil. You can use any oil you like. You can use flavored oil, garlic oil, chili oil. It all helps to infuse flavor into the rice. You should add a drizzle of oil or about a tablespoon's worth, enough to glaze the bottom of the pan and just to glaze all of the rice. And allow this to heat. And once the oil is nice and hot, you know it's ready to add the rice. Now, we're going to add in half a mug of rice. This is enough for about 2 to 3 people. And we're going to take our half a mug of dry rice and we're going to pour that straight into the hot oil. Stir the rice around in the oil, allowing all the rice to be coated by the oil. Now what this does is this cooks the rice and it seals it in, allowing the rice grains to be cooked individually, allowing it to cook off some of that starch to make that rice nice and fluffy so it doesn't stick together. When we stir the rice, make sure we push all the rice down so it's near the bottom of the pan so it can cook evenly. When the rice starts cooking, add a pinch of salt and then stir it thoroughly. Now remember, you're only meant to cook this rice for a couple of minutes, so don't leave it alone, don't walk off, otherwise the rice will burn and then you'll have to throw it away. It's just a couple of minutes of toasting the rice. So stir it regularly, make sure it's nice and toasted, and don't cook it for too long. Now you'll know the rice is toasted enough when you see the grains ever so slightly changing colour, or you'll get a nice nutty smell from the rice. Now we're going to add 1 full mug of cold water. Now it's important that the water is cold and not hot because we're going to bring the water to the boil. Leave the stove on the highest setting heat and bring the water to a boil. Once the water starts boiling away, turn the rice down to the minimum heat setting and then put a lid on top and leave it alone. You don't have to worry about it again and you can get on with the rest of your cooking, and I guarantee you the rice will come out perfect. Now the rice will only need about 15 minutes to cook, but once it's cooked and you've still got other things to do, you can just turn off the heat on the rice. It won't overcook, it will be perfect, and it will be ready to serve whenever you want it. And there we go, as simple as that, hassle-free rice. Now I encourage anyone to experiment with this recipe. Add in some spices, use stock instead of water. I've made plain rice because it allows you to choose what you want to do. You can add spices to the rice when you're toasting it. Why not mix it up and try something new? Either way, this method will give you perfect rice every time. It's quick, it's easy, and it's simple. And there you go, my hassle-free rice. Now, as always, if you enjoyed this recipe and it was easy to follow, then like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned for another recipe from Uncle Jam's Cooking School.